Oh my gosh, you're here.
Welcome to My Chatbot Life, where chatbot marketers share high converting strategies in this new conversational marketplace. Each week, MKJ introduces you to bot builders who are just like you, a little techie, a little markety, and a whole lot of geeky. Buckle up as Chatbot Mom enjoys another journey into My Chatbot Life.
Hey, bot buddies, you know who this is, MKJ. And I get to chat with someone I haven't really got a chance to chat with him before, but sounds like we know a couple of people in both of our relative spheres, and I cannot wait to talk to this guy and share what he has going on if you don't know yet. So build up, done, and introduction to Mr. Austin Distel, who is the CMO of Jarvis, well, actually Conversion.ai. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be able to chat with you. I really am, because I just love this guy, but I love this bot, and I love you guys. Telling you, anyone who's setting up, there he is. Oh my gosh, Jarvis. You don't know who he is. You're going to find out when we're done here. But you guys have set up, I just have to give you kudos, because you have set up a community unlike any I have ever participated in. I mean, really, your community is crazy amazing.
It's pretty wild. Yeah. I feel like this is such a brand moat, and it's been something that has spawned so just authentically by being ourselves and being goofy and being entertaining and friendly. And I feel like it's also a kind of like this tribe pack feel, which is odd for a software company.
I know it really is, but it really, I don't feel it as odd at all, because it's a mix of people who are the same way. I mean, we're kind of geeky. We like marketing. We like to write copy, but yet we also like tech. So it's that crazy mix of kind of oddballs that we are. So we get along.
It's true. Yeah. There's a lot of, it's growing very fast, faster than we ever would have expected. It's like, maybe 3,000 to 5,000 new members a month. And we've been around for maybe 5-6 months now at this point. And it's really wild to see. The cool part for me is there's this like culture of, I would say, like being funny, which is like, you'll see so many memes that are like new memes, not just like reposting the GIFs, but people will go out of their way to create like pop art, and they'll go and, joke. They'll talk about like Jarvis's sense of humor, which Jarvis is our AI. And they are also very helpful. So there's a huge supportive community and people, saying how they use it. And there's this bit of like discovery, because it's such cutting edge technology, and like, it feels like it's getting a life of its own, which is scary. And like, it has humor. I'm like, what the heck? Why is Jarvis being funny? Or Jarvis sometimes is sassy. Jarvis has a little sass to him. And it's just funny that people are so equally entertained by the software as they are like using it for functional good.
Yeah. Yeah. I really, and I think you started that whole process with naming the guy Jarvis. I mean, come on. First thing I think of is Marvel, right? First thing I think of is good old Tony Stark. And that there again, you've started this with a certain population who will get that, at least go to that with that name. And I mean, the first time I mentioned it to my sons, who are 19 and 22, that's the first thing they said was like, what? And they're like, are they able to use that name? I'm like, dude, they can't, like, that's a name, right? You can't, you can't.
Yeah, and it's CEO Dave Rogan-Moser's dog's name as a kid growing up.
Yeah.
So yeah, he named the company. He named it after his dog.
Yeah.
And also, just kind of clarify on that, like, we have gotten our we graduated like Y Combinator a couple of years ago, as we have a stack of lawyers with us, and we got some thumbs up from them saying it's all good and clear. Okay. We're good to go. We already have the trademark right now filed. So exciting stuff, and it's definitely I've had my fair share of trademark law experience and having to do name changes with companies in the past. And that's not fun. So we definitely did our due diligence on this one.
Yeah, and it's just again, it's in the popular culture, and again, my kids are that age. We watch everything Marvel. They keep trying to get me on the new Loki movie. I mean, excuse me, the Loki series. So I've got to watch that this weekend because I love it. And it. I think the reason I bring that up, and didn't mean to step on, do anything wrong, but the reason I bring that up is because it starts with the culture, and this culture is quirky like that. It is very, okay, bot buddies. If you don't know what we're talking about, don't worry, we'll let you in on it. We'll let you in on it real soon. But right now, I want to bring Austin back to some of the things that he's done because he's had some pretty cool things he's been working on besides Conversion.ai. But take me back before you actually got into this whole tech stack world. Was there anything you did before you went into, let's say, Proof and this recent stuff? What did you do for a job?
Yeah, I'll try and condense this. So I'm 28 and from Atlanta, but living in Austin, Texas. Uh, when I was in college, I was running a marketing agency doing Facebook ads and SEO and Google AdWords for clients. And it was actually my major, which was surprising. It was my professor was an ex-agency owner. She had she's more enterprise marketing agency owner. I had like clients like Barbie and Sunglass Hut, and she couldn't hire any college kids because they weren't savvy enough to actually run the advertising. They only knew theory out of a book. So she goes, I'm going to go and create a major around the new technical online marketing major and partner with Google and Facebook and brought them in and was able to negotiate free ad spend for us to play around with for nonprofits. So my earliest clients were like the YMCA and stuff like that. And we would do, pay-per-click advertising in class. And that was pretty cool. So that was kind of like my foot in the door. But when I noticed all my classmates were trying to go and get jobs doing this at other agencies for like, 50K a year or something like that, I was like, wait, how much are people paying for this service? Oh shit, they're paying like $2,500 a month for management of this stuff. I could figure out how to just get 2 clients and literally make as much as any of my classmates being my own boss. So I started Googling how to start a marketing agency. And then, of course, I got retargeting ads for this, for coaches teaching it. And this one guy had a great webinar and I decided to buy. I used all my spring break money behind my girlfriend's back at the time. And instead of going to the Bahamas, I decided to put $1,000 on this stranger online who's going to teach me how to be a CEO of an agency. And I'm really glad I did that within a week, made the money back from his sales scripts and then was able to outsource it to contractors and being able to really build up an agency. And I actually never had to end up getting a job. And how this turns full circle is that guy who I bought the course from is right behind me. He is Dave Rogenmoser, CEO of Conversion.ai and Proof. So that guy ended up becoming my mentor over the last 8 years. And it started off with me being a customer of his, doing his course. Eventually he said, I got a text from him. We always chatted about crazy ideas. One night he goes, dude, you just want to move up here to Maryland with me and my wife and, we can figure out how to work together. And so, yeah, I moved up to Maryland where he was. And that's when Proof started, which is a tech startup for doing better pay-per-click advertising by increasing your website conversions.
Yeah, by proving other people are buying it as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it all started though with helping agencies like myself get a better ROI on ad spend by showing social proof on the landing pages.
Yeah.
And so we've literally been in this space for so long, helping it in different ways, from literally being in the marketing agency role to doing online coaching and memberships to now creating SaaS products. And and now Dave is investing and I'm starting to get in that world and writing books on it. And yeah, kind of getting our fingers now in the industry after almost a decade.
Yeah, but that's kind of how it works, right? When you if that's not a pitch for niching down, I don't know what is. I mean, you're not like, right? You're not just spreading yourself and just trying to be everything to everyone. You guys right now, at least with Conversion.ai, are really focused on marketing copy.
Hmm.
And not just marketing, but really marketing copy, and not just marketing copy, but marketing copy written by AI.
That's right.
I mean, yeah, I try the number one issue with most agency owners, or actually bot builders. I call them technicians and bot builders who want to build an agency and want to become a CEO. First thing I tell them, you got to pick a niche. You can't just do everything for everybody and be successful for everybody. It's an inch deep and a mile wide, and you can't be successful at that. You got to go an inch wide and a mile deep, and know that niche backward, forward, and sideways better than the owners do. And then you will create incredible success. So yeah, copy written by AI. So wow. And that also speaks to networking, and not just networking in the sense of networking to get jobs or get business or whatever, but finding your tribe, finding your people, finding people you relate to, you understand, you can banter back and forth with and share ideas. And those relationships really don't go away. They create really incredible things.
The people, if you look at, I'm not sure if it's public or just here for the admin in our Facebook group, but if you look at our top most engaged, members of our 20,000 person Facebook group, it is people that were in that course I was in like 8 years ago. It was people that bought our first software product, PayFunnels, our second product called Proof, now third product software product called Conversion AI. All of these, like, it's the same list, the same audience, the same people that have, been buying for so long. And so when you really think, like, if you niche down, what's the lifetime value, not just of of the first product that they're signing up for, but career wise, like what's the lifetime value over the career? And we're just getting started here.
Yeah.
We're all young. So I have no idea where this is going to go, but it feels special.
It's amazing. And yes, it's to hang on for the ride and just allow yourself to go where it needs to go is really a skill most young entrepreneurs, even old entrepreneurs like myself, don't have, because we let all the emotions get in the way. We let all the what ifs and am I good enoughs and all those things get in the way. But let's keep going further, because that's really where I love to go with this. So you've had in your 28 years some pretty incredible things that you've been a part of. What would you say is the biggest mindset obstacle you've had, and how did you overcome it?
Mm. Um, so something that was really game changing for us when we went through Y Combinator was this idea of being customer obsessed, where so many people are afraid to talk to the customer. And especially marketers, I find myself in this, like, wanting to do things at scale, always automated, always efficient, and never actually doing like the hard, tedious task of like the one-on-one conversations or um, things that aren't scalable. And I found that the further I was away from the customer, the worse my marketing was. And the closer that I got to the customer, the better it was. I was able to use their terminology, in the copy. I was able to understand them and make better strategic decisions based on kind of like the avatars, but really knowing them on a deep level. Like, what's their daily life look like from start to end? What are the challenges they face, and where are they at in their career? What are they hoping to achieve? Not just like out of the product, but like a higher level, the goal that they're trying to get to. Um, One example in that is like finding in Conversion AI, like, yes, they want to write copy better. They want to build a profitable agency. And they want to be able to do more work in less time, go home to their family sooner, be able to take a vacation, be able to not have to hire an extra person on, admin or a junior. So finding a tool that can do all of that, great. It's not just about, hey, how do I get a 5,000 word blog post out the door? And so I think really understanding all the different types of people that are going to be buying from you and where they are in their stage and what their like actual purpose is, their actual journey that they're trying to achieve, is way more beneficial than just what you're trying to sell, the features and the benefits.
It's what I say that I do is called conversational marketing.
Mhm.
And in conversational marketing, that's exactly the North Star, right? That's everything that we do is centered around the customer experience, the customer's pain point, the customer's difficulties, and how we solve that, as opposed to traditional marketing, where it's all about me and my business and the benefits and the features of what I offer. And if you just look at, a company like McDonald's, the majority of their marketing is traditional marketing. It's all about the Big Mac. It's all about the golden arches. It's not about how people feel eating that stuff.
Mhm.
It's about them and the products. And that's the best way I can take that juxtaposition, if you will, and switch it to, no, you don't want to focus on just the features and benefits of you and your brand and your business. It really is all about the customer, because that's the only way you can have a conversation with the customer. And that's why it's conversational marketing. That's a beautiful thing. So did you have to switch that mindset, or was that something you kind of just walked into with all of this new technology and being able to work with Facebook ads from Facebook and Google, or ads from Facebook and Google when you were in college? I mean, is that something you just walked into, or did you have to switch?
Mm, what switched was like being, uh, afraid to call a customer, you know, or to, do the legwork up front. Like, as I say in my book, Subscription Secrets, I think that you should have 30 problem discovery interviews before creating the product. Problem discovery is not coming up with an idea, it's asking, what are your daily challenges in your life? And you start off with the audience you want to serve. And then once you know like about the avatar that you wake up and excited to help every day, um, from that avatar, you begin figuring out in their daily life, like where are the struggles? Um, how can I make their life easier? What can I automate? And once you find kind of like that group of 30 and you interview them and talk with them and really get to know them, you document it. Now you can follow up with them and say, hey, would this solution solve for your problem? And if it would, great. Will you pay now for it before I build it and pre-sell that? And then if it's not going to solve it, then, say, well, if I had a magic wand, to fix this, how would you solve it? And you keep diverting to finally creating your offer, whatever, I was telling this girl recently who was like pitching me on her idea, and she was so caught up in it being a mobile app. And I was like, is the mobile app solving the problem? And it was like, no, it could be solved so many ways. It could literally just be a spreadsheet. It could be a club, a membership. It could be a YouTube video, whatever. You can solve your exact problem in so many different ways, and figure out like, how are you uniquely positioned to solve it. Um, in that, like, don't get so romantic about the solution, get romantic about the problem you're solving. And she was just so caught up on it having to be an app. She wanted an app more than she wanted to help solve the problem. And so that is something I used to get caught up into. And so I was sharing her some stories of how I screwed up in that light, and it really clicked for her. And so maybe that helped somebody here today.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree 100%. I used to do this in writing when I would fall in love with a sentence, and this sentence just, oh my gosh, I just love the way that sentence sounds or what it means, and I would try and fit it into what I was writing, instead of just letting it go and going on with what the purpose of whatever I was writing, instead of trying to fit that sentence. So yeah, I get it. It's crazy. So, but that mindset, that fear of calling customers, I mean, we all have it. We all go. I did a role play with one of my students yesterday, and we were role playing a discovery call, and she was the potential client, and of course she kept asking things like, well, what case studies do you have, and how have you done this for all of your clients before, and all of that. And so I answered those questions and handled those objections, and when we were done, she was like, well, yeah, that was interesting. I never thought about that. And I got to tell you, I have never in the hundreds of discovery calls I've done ever had anyone ask me those questions. It's all in your head. You think clients are going to ask you, you're scared of the answer. So you fixate on that as the thing you have to think about. Believe me, there are so many other things. If you start focusing on them and the solution that you can create for their issue and solve that issue for them, they're not going to care what other things you have or don't have, because you know it. You speak their language. You know exactly what they need, and you can say it better than they can. It's just interesting. We're so afraid of those things, and we really don't need to be. Nobody's going to come through the Zoom call and kill us if we don't have the right answer, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So just make the calls, get it done. Wow. All right. How, this technology, all technology changes so fast. I'd like to kind of transition into that idea. How have you adapted? How has building proof been different, or the ways that you've built Conversion.ai? How is that different from how you built proof just in that short period of time between those two projects?
Yeah. I wouldn't take back how we built proof. And it's still a great company. It's, very profitable, leader in the space. And when we graduated YC, we, took on a few million in investment to hire the team, take the moonshot. We got this office in Austin, and it was really like, how do we build a like more enterprise version of a product, and like try and, build like a whole developer team, build a whole sales team, and generate like, $1 million contracts, doing personalization, because that's where, we felt like we could really like crush it and build a cool product. And I found what we all found, this is kind of like a unanimous now in the company, is adding people before the need was there just created a lot of overhead and complexity, and it really reduced efficiency. Like the amount of work that we did output as a company actually reduced with more people rather than increased with more people. When there wasn't a need for them yet, it was more like, hey, y'all, we got this investment and we're here to like build this idea. So everybody needs to do their part in finding out what the idea is, ideating until we finally come up with it. And then we need to sell it to, larger contracts. And, I think I think we let it go on too long, of like having people try and create work for themselves to like spit out that idea. And you see like, huge companies do this, like Google. They're always, they have one day, I think it's like their 10% time. They say, go out for 10% and work on, some random project. And that's how Gmail started, was during that 10% time. So look at it now, like it can be worth it, but that's why they have the whole company do it, because they have these moonshots. They don't know what will hit. And, as a small startup, like there's not as much runway to do that. And even if you see the revenue go up, it's not as exciting, in my opinion, when you are just in meetings all day. So we started off with optimizing for like MRR, top line revenue. And we were so proud of the number of people on our team because it made us feel like legit, and, oh yeah, we got up to, 20 employees, multiple millions ARR. And we're just like, this isn't as fun as it used to be though, when we had 6 people and we were more profitable. So, we decided to make the shift here, when we started Conversion AI, that we're going to optimize for a different metric, the most profit per employee. So we want to be as massively profitable and huge as we can be with the least amount of complexity. We actually now have 0 meetings on the calendar every week. Um, and it's actually a lot more fun. And we're all like living our best life. We're all building a product. We all know exactly what to do when we show up because like all 7 of us on the team are pure experts at our trade. So we really like don't have that much overlap. And there's no uh I would say like overlap in what people can do. Like we all just trust each other's ability to show up and do what we are hired to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And the autonomy that allows, and without having to check with 5 different managers and 5 different people to get signed off on what you got to do. But what about the tech? Now I know obviously AI is AI, which is very different, but
Mhm.
what about the building it from a tech standpoint? uh, Proof as opposed to Conversion.ai. What has changed in that time frame between those two companies technically?
Yeah. JP is our CTO, and he's incredibly savvy at. I mean, he's really a full stack guy. He has an eye for design. He understands like back end architecture, um, and man, you just give that guy some cold brew and let him go to work. He can crank out stuff so fast. It's awesome. Um, and I think over the years, he's shifted from you know, building it from scratch or building it, based on personal preferences rather than doing now what he does is speed of implementation and ease of maintenance. Um, and so I don't think that we're ever cutting corners, but we're using like out of the box stuff more, rather than, for example, like building a custom help center, or a custom training portal or like all these custom crap. Now it's like, great, what's the best SaaS for this that's already out there that we can bolt on? Um, and I think that's, bolting on existing things that are really good at their one thing is now our motto. And that's also included in the way that we hire. Like we're now hiring agencies or freelancers that are experts in very specific tasks that we need done rather than hiring somebody in-house to try and learn and manage it. And like, yes, we might get more hours out of a full-time hire,
Mhm.
but we don't need hours. What we need is output, goals
Yeah,
achieved.
yeah.
And so we do that now through SaaS, and we do that through hiring experts instead of just like, uh, employees.
Yeah, getting shit done.
Yeah.
That's really it. Yeah, and that's I think really technically not everything has evolved to this, but we do have a lot of technology that you can just take out of the box and adapt it a bit. I mean, obviously your CTO knows how to do whatever he needs to do, so he can take something out of the box and adapt it, iterate it, change it to fit what you're trying to do much faster and easier than he can building it from scratch. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And we also think about, I think about this in my role as CMO is what am uniquely able to do that I can't hire out for. And that could be like strategic management. That could be how do our systems integrate within each other? Like how do I bolt? For example, one project I'm working on right now is, we have a lot of customers. A lot of them are agencies, and people are always asking, "Hey, who can I hire for this in our Facebook group?" On the other side of that marketplace are people saying, "Hey, I sell SEO for SaaS companies. Anybody need my services?" And I'm like, "Well, that's self promotional, but I get it. You got to eat." So, how do we not shame on both sides, but rather cultivate it in a safe space? And so, right now, I'm building a basically like a micro Upwork that's
Awkward. Mhm.
for specifically customers of Conversion AI.
Yeah.
And I'm uniquely gifted to be able to do that out of like, it'd be really hard to onboard an agency
Right.
to do this for me, or it'd be really hard, for other things. But then I can do like, how about for video editing? Well, I'm
Oh,
not like uniquely positioned to do that. I can send that out and it doesn't take all that much onboarding to do those kind of tasks.
yeah.
So That's
That's
kind of what I'm thinking about a lot lately. And the team is as well. It's like, how do we not hire somebody for this role, but rather like outsource it to an expert? And then so I can focus on the things only that I can do, that nobody else can do, but only I can do.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I agree 100%. And that's again, once agencies get to that level where, let's say a bot builder, so to speak, since I'm in more of the bot world, they know how to build a bot on ManyChat or Chatfuel or Mobile Monkey or whatever they're doing, and then they're looking at, yeah, but then they have the pendulum swing of I find a client and then I work on that client and then I get done with that and I don't have a retainer. I just build the bot
Mm,
and leave it, and then I look up and now I don't have any clients anymore. So now I got to go find another client, and I mean it's a pendulum swing. And so when they actually rise above that and become their own CEO and realize there are certain things I am uniquely qualified to do in my agency and that I do better than anyone and need to direct this ship, captain this ship, I can hire other people to do all those other things. That is exactly, I mean, that's efficiency in itself, right?
exactly. That is, you literally, that's the summary of the webinar that I purchased from Dave 8 years ago. It was titled Escape the Freelancer's Trap and Build 6,000 a month in recurring retainers in 60 days or less.
Yes.
Um, and I mean, literally like that, having one subscription-based business, which like, that's what my whole book is about. It's called
Yeah.
Subscription Secrets.
Yeah.
And it's all about how do you not start at zero every single month, but you're rather building on the shoulders of last month's success. And
Yes.
that's the beauty of the subscription model. And there's, 9 different subscription models, from services to software to content on subscription. Um, and if you have that built in rather than doing project based, if you don't have to only sell subscription. Like for example, I just I do consulting on the side as well. And one of my clients, I'm helping set up a influencer system for a affiliate program. And rather than just doing a retainer or a project based fee, I did a mix of two. I did 15,000 for setup, 5,000 a month for 3 months. That's just the setup. That's a one-time project. They feel great. Here's mission accomplished. But then I'm like, okay, well, where's the recurring revenue? And so then I'm like, well, I also want 10% of all revenue generated through this program. And so you can think about how do you create, and then you can always, have these opt-out clauses and ending subscriptions and all of that like built in. So you protect each other. Maybe you don't want to always have to have that. So I did this back in the day when I had my websites. I would say, hey, I'll build your website for 10 grand. And then I'll also have a monthly management and hosting fee where I'm your webmaster or whatever. I did this in college. And so I would say, yeah, I'll build it for 10 grand. And then you also have to pay me $500 a month. But whenever you need site updates, you need, I'll make sure that you are always optimized. And if you need new pages, like we can talk about that being in there in the retainer, but somehow embed subscription into your offering. And what if you just had, half of your income or a third of your income predictable for next month? You just know that there's some level of security, a little cushion, that next month you're not starting from zero. How would that make you feel in your life? Would it make you worried that would it make you relieved that you're going to be able to make the mortgage payment or the car payment or whatever? Like that's a great place to be in. So I would recommend that for any agency owner.
Yeah. Yeah. And it does take to go from that project based, getting it done to the subscription model or to any kind of consultant idea. It does take a mindset shift. You do have to come out of the technology and out of the technician. I basically liken it to a chef. Are you being the chef of the meal or are you the pan? The pan is the tech. The
Mhm.
pan, I can change the pan anytime. The pan creates the meal, but the pan isn't the meal.
Correct.
So you're either a technician or you're going to come out of that pan and become the chef and rise above just the project or the tech that you're using. And it's such a freeing thing, and you really need to allow yourself the confidence that is there, otherwise you wouldn't be doing what you're doing, to be able to rise above that and see it as a bigger picture and see it as how can I impact this business beyond just building a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's such an amazing, it just is a mindset shift. And once you make that shift, oh my goodness, the world opens up and the stars align and the heavens open and life is good.
Absolutely. And, I want to throw a crazy concept out to everyone here. We all have, once you get kind of in like the subscription world, we all have monthly recurring revenue as a company. It's like the key metric, right? But I want everybody to think, what's your monthly recurring income? Because we all have monthly recurring expenses. You have insurance, car payments, mortgage, and Netflix, your uh, newspaper. All of these things are recurring expenses. And a shift for me over the last 5 years is, how do I create recurring income? Because recurring revenue and recurring profits and then recurring income. You see how it trickles down. Recurring revenue is like, sure, it makes you feel good, but it's like likes on Facebook, how many people purchased,
Right.
how much money hit the bank. And then how do you go further? How did that actually impact my life? What's my disposable income like now? And so optimizing for recurring revenue is exciting. And I think, it's a leading metric to success, but it's not to divert attention away from the most important is, how is your actual state of being, your life better? And so once I started thinking about Austin Distel's monthly recurring income, how do I update that? How do I have that grow? I started thinking like, I think, for any technicians here, if you guys are agencies and you're installing tech, one of the easiest ways is, how do you literally just ask for them to click on your affiliate link as you sign up for things like, take home 30%, whether they leave you as a client or not. Like, make sure you get that ClickFunnels or that WordPress or template or whatever, your mini chat
Yes.
subscription, like all these things, like, and then once you start installing that, how do you help? If you're a technician already, a trusted one, well, yeah, they have mini chat set up. How do they also have active campaign? And then how about their Facebook analytics tracking? All these other things that you can do, and just get your hands in the weeds there. And whether it's just like a one-time setup fee or whatever, you can start building monthly recurring income. So you have retainers, you have affiliate, you have recently I bought an Airbnb, and so I have like uh, that rental. And so just really thinking about, how do you stack these up and start asking for revenue share and equity positions in your client's company, in your clients.
Absolutely, absolutely agree 100%. When I started diversifying, that's a key word that you're basically talking about, right? And just not relying on only one thing, then again, I'm always looking for a sigh of relief somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And just that relief of like, okay, I don't have to worry about that now. Just that sigh of relief. Look at it as, you've got a sigh of relief with your Airbnb. You've got a sigh of relief with your revenue share with your webinar client, right? You've got a sigh of relief with your SaaS client because you're taking a revenue share of that. You've got a sigh of relief because you're getting affiliate income because you're using ClickFunnels like a pro and recommending it to all your clients. Whether they stay with you or not, they're still using your affiliate code to keep their ClickFunnels going. So yeah, look for all the sighs of relief you can possibly find in the world. And yeah, life is wonderful. Wow. All right. So, yeah, I mean, I could never have the fullest conversation possible in the short amount of time that we have. I know that another conversation is somewhere in our future. But in the meantime, we have to look into the future of your life. And I think we're going to live to 130 years old. As long as I have my teeth and I can move, I'm good. So you get to the end of your life and someone's going to write your biography, the Austin Distel life story, your biography. What would be the title of that book?
The title of the book of my biography, um, I think one of my favorite sayings is, "Screw it, let's do it." And it's just kind of this mentality of say yes to life, buy the ticket, ask the date, start the business, whatever it is, just say yes and figure it out along the way. even if it's scary, even if you don't know you're going to get there, complete the goal, just start by saying yes, and then you'll figure it out later.
Absolutely. Yes. All right. And so who would write that book?
I don't have a life partner yet, but I would hope that somebody that's, seen me over the course of time and can share the stories of all the weird times I've said yes, along with all of like the public ones. But like, what about that time I said yes at a random resort out in Bali, like to a dance with a local instructor to learning bachata or something like that, like how do you like all these like random just yeses to life? And that didn't happen, but it's just like something
Yeah.
that I feel like if you could look at a history of all of the times you said yes, all of the scary moments when you went up to the cute person you saw in the aisle at Whole Foods, or you, you decided to buy that $1,000 product from a stranger with your spring break money and it worked out.
Yeah.
These little random saying yes to life is really saying yes to yourself, because if you're resourceful and you trust that you can complete, anything that you set your mind to, then you're going to have a great life, but you have to show up for it and you got to say yes.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Thank you for that. And I have a feeling the answer to this one's going to be easy, but what would you say was the quote that you lived your life by?
Okay. There's like a few that kind of like relate to each other. How you do anything is how you do everything.
Just talking to someone, just the previous call said the exact same quote. Yes. That's
Wild.
Stephen Covey. I think it was Stephen Covey that says that. Anyway,
Huh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think about that, so it's like, how do I start off my day with a win? I just make my bed, because how I do anything is how I do everything. Uh, I like to live, kind of like deeper on that is I'm the kind of guy who, and I start off whenever I think about, a hard decision, I just internalize to myself and I just think, Austin, you're the kind of guy who, and then how do I show up for the rest of that sentence, is like my ideal version of who I am. So if let's say I have to have a hard conversation with someone and it's kind of aching me and it's getting at my soul, and I'm just like, what kind of guy am I? I'm the kind of guy who I'm going to have the hard conversation, even though it's not going to be fun. And we're going to nip it in the bud. And I'm the kind of guy who's going to move past it once it's over. I'm not going to let it build up residue. Or let's say it's like, I'm the kind of guy who, when, it's the end of the month and I didn't hit my goal, am I going to let that goal just not be missed? Or am I going to stay up late and see what I can do and get on the phone or whatever it is and figure it out? I find that is a very helpful sentence to think about to yourself. And it can go everything from your health to, hey, everybody asks, let's say you're trying to lose weight and the waiter comes by and says, hey, table, do you all want extra French fries? And everybody's, pointing around, hey, who wants it? Who wants it? It's like, I'm the kind of guy who I'll say no thanks this time, and always knowing I'm going to complete that sentence with my ideal version of myself, it actually is a self-fulfilling prophecy that I will become that person. And so I've used that for many years. I learned that from Tony Robbins, and I'm the kind of guy who shows up in my ideal light.
wow. And you can, bot buddies, you can switch that up and use it if you need to chunk it out and say, I'm the kind of parent who, or I'm the kind of spouse who, or I'm the kind of partner who, or I'm the kind of entrepreneur, or the child, or you can chunk it out if you need to get even more specific for your specific situation. But yes, in overall, you're living your own life. Nobody's living it for you. Nobody's going to come in and rescue you. You got to do it. So yeah, you're the kind of guy, gal, person who, what? That is very powerful. And I just, it's really funny that same exact statement was just said to me less than an hour ago. So I maybe I need to take that as a hint for something. We'll have to think on that for a little bit. But in the meantime, when Austin was talking about sigh of relief and diversifying and affiliates and all that stuff, guys, I love Jarvis. I love this AI. It is so incredible, so fun. I have my team using it. We're using it on all the copy that we write, and it is just so fun. It's so funny to see what Jarvis comes up with. And I'm going to tell you, when you hear this episode, there's going to be some really cool stuff happening right after this episode airs. So within a week, there's really cool stuff happening at Conversion, and you definitely don't want to miss that. So go to the show notes for this episode, and I'm going to give you an example and show you in detail how I use Jarvis, how I use this incredible tool to make my life easier, to help my team look amazing with what they do. And you're going to see in detail how that happens. So you need to go to the show notes for this episode, go to messengerfunnels.com, go to My Chatbot Life, and it will be right there. And you'll just have access to some really, really cool stuff. And I guarantee you, if you join this group, you join this community, you will have a blast. So, Austin, thank you so much for joining me. I am so honored that you were able to jump on, and here's to an incredible future.
Thank you. Yeah, it's going to be exciting, and I'm excited to see everybody in the Facebook group, and hopefully you're there live with us on June 29th. We'll be announcing some really exciting things, and yeah, you won't want to miss that.
No. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the My Chatbot Life podcast. To watch this video chat, visit mychatbotlife.com and get all the rocket boosters you need for your own chatbot success.